for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. And once more through. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Welcome in.
Good morning, and welcome to People's Church. Let's take a moment and settle in together. Maybe you're like me, someone who's happy to be here today to see friends and engage in meaningful conversations. Let's take a breath together and know we have arrived. Maybe you have had a rough morning or week and you need some community spirit and love. Let's take a breath together and know that your community is here for you. Maybe it's your first or second time here and you're not sure what to expect. Let's take a breath together and know there are no expectations and you are in a safe place to be you. Maybe the world and all the politics feel so overwhelming and impossible. Let's take a breath together and know that at People's Church, you don't have to feel alone. We are here for each other. Let's breathe. My name is Sharon Sauter, and I'm a member of the Sunday Service Committee, and I'm glad you're here today. If you looked at the bulletin or whatever comes out on Friday, you would have seen that Rebecca Stanford was to deliver our, what do we call these, sermon today. But unfortunately, she had a little family situation. Everything's all right, but she's unable to be with us today. So instead, we have Diane Melvin, our Director of Religious Education, who at the last minute filled in. And thank you for that. A couple announcements are, on July 22nd, it will be the hymn sing. So if you want to check out the Friday email, it'll give you all the details. But if you have a special song that you would like to have sung, and even if you would like to talk about it, you can do so by contacting Laura Bultman. And she needs the songs by next week. Something new is going to start happening on the second Sunday of the month. Dave Wertsmith is leading a meditation class about a half an hour after the service in the Buddha room. So that'll be on the second Sunday. And People's Church is looking for someone to take pictures during special events at the church. If this is you, please contact Eli. Oops.
Here, I'll light it while you read it.
Thank you, Diane Melvin, for lighting our chalice. It's time to light our chalice, and if you're lighting a chalice at home, I invite you to type in the chat box, a chalice is lit in your city or in your neighborhood. Our poem today is called Different Yet United. We come from many places, along different paths, bringing different truths. We come with different histories and different realities, and yet we come together as one people, with faith that we can use our differences to heal ourselves and each other, to bring wholeness to a fractured world. We come, many of us, to seek community, to find acceptance of who we are. In this place, we may find others who are much like us and others who are much different. May our lit chalice remind us that we are a people taught by different stories, with many voices, but always one people working for a world where love creates justice and justice gives birth to peace.
In addition to our chalice lit here, we also have 10 folks joining us on Zoom, with chalices lit in Parkview Hills and the Millwood neighborhood.
Speaking of something a little different, I invite you to rise in body or spirit. We're going to sing, me and Daryl are going to sing People of Hope. He'll be up on the screen. It's hard to believe in the sun in the dark of the night, and it's hard to believe in the stars in the bright morning light. Well, we all need a place we can go to learn what is real, to ponder the depths of the soul where truth is revealed. Oh, this is our place. This is our home. Working and seeking, we're never alone. In this mortar and stone, these windows and walls, love's earthly home, heeding the call. It's bread for the journey, oil for the flame, for people of love, people of hope, people of change. It's hard to believe there is peace when war rages on, and it's hard to believe there is love in hate's raging throng. But for every brave soldier, a peacemaker takes her own stand, and for every soul long turned away, there waits a new hand. Oh, let it be you. Let it be me. Here in love's dwelling, we learn to believe in this mortar and stone, these windows and walls, love's earthly home, heeding the call. It's bread for the journey, oil for the flame, for people of love, people of hope, people of change. When a place is what welcomes you in, you build it, you change it, so the promise of love can begin here in this room. Oh, here in these halls, hearts open wide, welcoming all. Y'all sound so great. In this mortar and stone, these windows and walls, love's earthly home, heeding the call. It's bread for the journey, oil for the flame, for people of love, people of hope, people of change. We're people of love, people of hope, people of change. We're living for change. And now I believe in the sun in the dark of the night.
People's Church is a community that supports one another. And one way we do that is by sharing our joys and sorrows. I invite you to come up in a minute and say your name, briefly state your joy or concern, and put a stone in the bowl. If you'd rather not say anything, you can just put a stone in the bowl. And if you're on Zoom, please write in the chat box. Sources of reason and radiance, sources of courage and compassion. Keep watch with those who work and watch and weep this day. May the suffering be soothed. May the weary find rest. May the sick be tended. May the dying and those who love them find peace. May the joyous be shielded. And may all of us know we are wrapped in a love that surrounds us always, a web that connects us all to that exists.
I invite you to stretch upward a little bit. Give yourself some breathing space. And we'll start at the bottom first. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out. You keep doing that one. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out. Last time. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
We know that our financial contributions to this congregation come from sacrifice and hard work. We are so grateful for this and commit together to ensure the funds we gather collectively do a greater good for ourselves and our world than they could have done alone. May there be an offering to sustain and grow the life and mission of the church. May we give in love and in gratitude. You can find the words for this song in your order of service if you'd like to sing along. They go like this. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. This one goes up. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. There is a love holding us.
this love. This side first. There is a love holding us, and then there is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There's a love holding all. We rest in this love. Thank you.
Please join me in giving thanks for all that sustains us. For the countless gifts we each have been given, gifts of life and love and sustenance. We bring these small portions to share in the works of love, which none of us can accomplish alone.
Good morning. I am Diane Melvin, and I'm delighted to be here with you this morning. I want to share an excerpt from a book called Trusting Change, Finding Our Way Through Personal and Global Transformation by Karen Herring. For many species, survival is only possible with collective action and relationship within and beyond the species. From the wolf pack to the beehive, from the tree grove to the ant colony, from the buffalo herd to the whale pod, and for the humans too. Collaboration is the only way to stay alive and to thrive. In the heart of the canyon near Managua, a flock of 700 parakeets nest in a sheer face of a cliff of hardened lava rising some 300 feet over the canyon floor. I once hiked in with a few fellow travelers late in the afternoon to see the flock returning as they do each evening. To one side, the waterfall was a ribbon that laced through a crack, creating a long, narrow flow, and the rest of the wall was packed with hundreds of holes, apparently perfect for a roosting parakeet. As the sun set that day, we watched the parakeets appear in a cloud of green, cresting over the lip of the canyon, swooping down and gracefully turning, folding back over itself like an iridescent sheet flapping in the wind. Some birds already settled into the wall, poking out their heads from their nesting holes, and others moved in and out, undulating in the cloud overhead. With binoculars, we could see the birds' faces, the white around their eyes, their yellow beaks, the tails pointed straight back, and the subtle outlines of their deep green wings. But the real sight was not the particulars. It was the emerald wave that moved across the sky and through the canyon, beautifully synchronized, a wash of color in a class all its own. A rare shade and patina. It was a green I had never seen before. Hypnotized by the birds, we watched them settle into the rocks, into their nests. I felt my body settling in with the birds until a sudden shriek, a shrill sound across the canyon created a cacophony of panic. A single black vulture appeared over the top of the waterfall, and instantly a green veil of parakeets peeled away from the cliff face in a chaos of wings miraculously marshaled. In the diminishing daylight, the flock rose from the canyon in a thick and shadowy cloud of fear and then, on some invisible cue, abruptly dispersed as if propelled by an explosion. Birds scattered like buckshot in every direction. Darkening the sky, it was a strategy of confusion that left the vulture behind, a circling silhouette without a single catch. Only when the vulture left did the parakeets come back together, forming their flock again before settling into their nests. Any skein of swans or murmuration of starlings reminds us survival is often a shared effort. At our best, we humans do this too.
The second reading today is called Kindness by Diane Marie Child. One of the problems in our society today is denial. Denial makes us unable to accept that all people are the same and that we all have a hunger for kindness and for love, as well as for food. We are often trained to be competitive rather than cooperative. Competition is fueled by fears of not getting enough, fears of losing what we have. These fears can cause mistrust of others rather than concern for others. We are not often trained to be kind, loving, and thoughtful. Kindness is simple, but not always easy. This is the primary work of those on the spiritual path, to get beyond the fears and conditioned thinking so that natural kindness can be expressed. A seeker once asked the Dalai Lama, "What is the purpose of the Tibetan meditations, rituals, and chants?" The Dalai Lama replied, "To become a kind human being. It is kindness that is so needed in the world today."
Author E.B. White once said, "I arise in the morning torn between a desire to improve the world and a desire to enjoy the world, and this makes it hard to plan the day." I often feel this tension in my own life, wanting to enjoy the world and wanting to change it. Lately, I've been beginning each morning by reading Letters to an American by Heather Cox Richardson, either on Facebook or on her Substack. And as a historian, she writes so clearly about current events using historical examples and perspectives that I find invaluable. Somehow, expanding my understanding of how people have faced difficult times in the past and found ways to navigate through them provides me with some feelings of hopefulness that we shall do so in this time. As I gaze into the innocent face of my 3-month-old granddaughter, I wish that we did not have to navigate so much darkness in these times. And yet, I always take comfort in Gandalf's reply to Frodo in The Lord of the Rings when he says, "So do all who live to see such times." But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the times that are given to us. There are other forces at work in this world, Frodo, besides the will of evil. There has always been and there will always be selfishness, ignorance, and greed in the world. And it is up to each one of us to decide what we will do with the time given to us and figure out how to keep our actions rooted in love, both individually as well as collectively. These are difficult and scary times. In the book Trusting Change by Karen Herring, right before the paragraph before the one I read you about the parakeets, she says, as humans, our natural response to what we fear is to think small. When threatened or frightened, our brains consider fewer options. Our muscles tense up, our blood flow is reduced, our vision narrows, thus funnels and focuses our energies and our actions on that which is most critical for our survival. But what if our collective humanity, our collective survival of humanity depends on a wider view, a greater flow, and shared thinking that includes many options? Community, she says, is the key to our long-term survival and thriving. Community, she says, oh, I just said that, is the key. So I found her idea of the parrots and the murmuration as a brilliant example of what community, when working together, whatever species we are, is ideal and how to best survive and to thrive in this world today. I know for me, when I'm waking up in the morning and reading Heather Cox Richardson's commentary about the state of the world, I notice a lot of emotion arises in me. A lot of fear, a lot of sadness. In order to be able to not put the covers back over my head and sink into despair, but be able to get out of bed and move through my day, I have to recognize the emotions that are rising and the sensations that they bring up in my body and be present with them and gently and invite and allow them to flow through my body. Because when I feel really afraid of what's going on in the world, I do clench up. I can feel my stomach tighten. I can feel my heart rate increase. And I know that if I ultimately desire my actions to flow from a place of love rather than from a place of fear, that I need to allow that fear to move through me and I need to metabolize that. I need to sit with the grief and I need to acknowledge it. I can't just shove it down and pretend that it's not there and go through my day. Otherwise, when I'm driving down West Main in the middle of traffic construction delays, I may have some acts of road rage that come out sideways at fellow drivers. So staying focused in my body, staying present with myself, staying committed to my spiritual practices and my meditation each morning to be able to be still and silent and fully present, to feel the fear and the grief and the sorrow of the images that I'm witnessing of men in prisons in El Salvador and children in Palestine and Ukraine and Sudan. How do I be aware of what is happening in the world, of children being washed away from a girls' camp in Texas? How do I be an informed, aware citizen in this world and keep my heart from closing down, from overwhelm, from fear and from sorrow and from grief and feeling so helpless? And for me, that practice is doing that spiritual practice. It's committing to my meditation. It's committing to being present with those feelings and being present in my body and notice what arises and allowing it to be gently, compassionately, with as much loving kindness as I can muster for myself, and then invite and allow it to flow through me. And for me, that often comes through when I'm swimming. I swam 2 miles in Lake Michigan on Friday morning and I can just feel, I just say a mantra to be like, may it all flow through me. May I let go of this, because it's not going to serve me by staying in my body. And my aspiration is to stay as grounded in love as possible, so that each day when I do manage to extricate myself from my bed and go out into the world, as I'm trying to plan my day with enjoying the beautiful sunshine and the birds singing and the sunshine glinting on the water, and all the suffering and all the sorrow and all the change that I want to create, which can feel completely overwhelming and so large. I root myself in a soft, tender heart of loving kindness. And I take one step in front of the other and try to be as kind and loving and good and wise, and bring forth my bravest, most courageous self into the day, and be love with everything I do, with every person with whom I interact, with all of my actions, even those people that are driving me crazy with their driving in traffic or circumstances over which I have no control. I try to pay attention to that which I have some agency over, and do my best to be a calm, centered, grounded, loving person, to be able to move forward in love. And the other piece of that, I got lost on my notes. Guess I went off on a little tangent there. Oh, so I spent Friday afternoon at a family reunion with my grandmother's extremely conservative Christian relatives. And this family reunion in Allegan has taken place on this land where my great-grandmother lived, since my great-grandmother was a small girl. Half of these cousins at this reunion are missionaries, are Christian missionaries in Haiti, not any longer. Now they're in Zambia. They're all over the world, spreading the word. So generally, my mom and I go and we don't talk politics or religion. We talk about kids and the weather and the lake. But as I was having lunch across from my cousin's wife and the other people were at another table, I said to her, I'm just curious. How are you feeling about this big tax and spend bill that just was passed in Congress? Her eyes got really big. I said, I really like you and I value you as an intelligent and loving and kind person, and I really want to understand your perspective better. From what sources do you gather your news and your information? It opened a door for a heartfelt, honest conversation with my cousin. And only because I feel so rooted and grounded in my spiritual practices did I feel like I could cultivate the courage and the calm to be able to open that door and listen to her perspective with an open mind and an open heart to create dialogue. Because I said to her, it feels like I'm kind of over here and everyone else in this family reunion is over here, but there's this big space here, and there's very little conversation that crosses that divide. She agreed with me 100% and was very kind and respectful and gave me the hugest hug at the end of the day and thanked me so much for coming to the family reunion and being open and honest with her. It was quite remarkable. I feel that in order to best navigate the coming days and years ahead, we need to consistently do two primary things. One, find and commit to the spiritual practices that center and ground each one of us, helping us to become our wisest, most courageous, best, most loving selves. 2, we need to lean into community with all that we have, because not only is it our best chance of making it through this, it is literally our only chance. As we continue to do the work to dismantle unjust systems of white supremacy culture and capitalism and patriarchy, and we are working together to build the beloved community, we need each other. Right now, there are systems in place that are consciously designed to split us apart, to create infighting and bickering and turning us against each other in any way possible so that we feel afraid, alienated, alone, and disempowered. The only way for us to move through these times is to remember what Gandalf said, because there are other things working besides fear and evil and greed and power-hungry people. There is a power of love that is present. Maybe not in the toppest echelons of our government, but it is present. And if it is present in the grassroots, there is a power of love that is present, and together is how we can move forward one step at a time and make a difference. It's the only way. So my questions for you is, what are the practices that help you to feel grounded and centered, to metabolize that fear and move it through you so that you are not acting out of fear in your daily life? And how can you do more of those? We are so fortunate to have this congregation, this wonderful community of people with similar values working together. How do we best support and lean into each other? How do we stay together? There may be things we disagree about, but how do we keep our eye on the larger vision and mission, even if we have different ideas about how to get there, so that we don't lose each other? In the midst of juggling all of the busy things in our lives, how to remain committed to staying engaged with our spiritual practices, how to remain committed to staying engaged with sacred community. We are living in difficult times. May we mindfully and consciously take excellent, exquisite care of ourselves and each other, for this is the path forward, rooted and grounded in love. May it be so, and may we make it so. Blessed be.
Wow. Thank you for pulling that off on such short notice. That was amazing, Diane. Thank you for your words. And now it's time for us to break up into small groups. So just scooch your chairs around in groups of 4 to 6, and we'll have a little discussion for the next 10 to 15 minutes. And you will hear the piano playing, and that'll be your time to know to come back. See that they're here today.
I encourage you all to continue these conversations after the service ends. At this time, I invite you to rise in body or spirit to sing our closing song together. There
as I greeted you and said, welcome, thank you so much for coming today. And Diane, thank you so much for stepping in. And if you didn't know, I am an energy Reiki healer, and right now the energy in this building, in this room, is so strong. It is so strong.
Our closing words is a poem by John Rodell. Whenever I feel helpless in this overwhelming world, I become a helper. Oh, my love, on the days when it feels like I have no power, I serve others. You see, whenever I wash the world's feet, my hands immediately stop shaking. Go in peace and go in love.